There's a new trend in the Redstone world, and I couldn't be more excited. A few weeks ago, a fellow by the name of Jake Kelton Crafts uploaded a video on animated fans, inspired by one of Mumbo's recent builds on the Hermitcraft server. Mumbo saw this and then made a couple of his own videos inspired by his work, and I, as a lover of fun and wacky redstone, was hooked. But Jazzy, you say, what can you possibly add to the conversation? I mean, they're fans. Well, for one, I felt that both designs were rather big, especially since the purpose of these is to be integrated into decorative builds. But also, it bothered me that each size of fan needed to be designed from the ground up, and the animation needed to be meticulously dialed in using repeaters. I couldn't help but wonder, there has to be a way to make these things scalable by following some kind of pattern, right? If I can figure out this formula and apply it to as big of a fan as I want while keeping the footprint small, I think we're on to a winner. So let's get started. So first off, I did like Mumbo's idea of using a loop of observers to drive the fan because, well, I mean, we've already got the circular motion by default, right? Why not just mimic the way it actually works? But the part that I didn't understand was that he made the loop basically as big as the footprint of the fan itself, and then built it inwards, something like this, in order to dial down the timings and get into the center. The thing is with a fan, especially if you want to add in the smearing effect, which I think looks really cool, is that the absolute speed of the fan blade actually gets faster the closer you move towards the edges. So wouldn't it make sense for the motion to originate at the 3x3 center and then sort of radiate outwards? If I look at this from the front, right, I'm sort of picturing a fan blade that maybe if it's like horizontal here, it bends this way, right? If it's moving around in a clockwise rotation, then the fan blade would bend something like this. It would smear in this direction. So yeah, the motion originates in the center, and then it has like a little bit of delay as it goes further and further out. It like trails behind, right? Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and tear this down and focus on the inner 3x3 first. Okay, so basically we want a clock that will trigger these 8 pistons in a circle slowly. The smallest and most obvious one would just be a ring of observers like this, but I believe outside of a one-bladed fan, this is way too fast. So how exactly do I get this thing to slow down? That is the question. I'm thinking if I just put repeaters down like this, and just play with the timings, maybe make them like 3 ticks each, and then find a way to trigger these 2 middle observers in an even fashion, then that should work. What if we do that and that, put those back in like that, and we want this thing to trigger 3 ticks after this, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then there. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? And then to get the signal up to there, I think we could just do another 3-tick repeater, a couple bits of redstone like that, and then for this one, 3 ticks there, and a couple pieces of redstone down like that, I believe. Let's trigger it, let's test it, let's see what we are looking at. Oh, there is flashing, unfortunately. Do these need to be 2 ticks? Hold on, they might need to be 2 ticks. Okay, that shouldn't double trigger anything, right? It doesn't look perfectly even. You see a little larger gap coming from here to here and from here to there. Okay, let me tweak this a little bit. There we go. That's a nice even circle. All right, let's set that up into the sky. Actually, you know what? While we're here, I'm gonna figure out a way to actually stop this. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so to expand this out to 5, right, we can like that, like that, like that, and like that. Okay, so we want it to trail, right? So this quadrant needs to follow off of this and that, I believe. And then this one would need to follow off of this one and that one. This quadrant would follow off of this and that. This quadrant would follow after this and that. And then we just put in a whole face of observers like this, and let's see if it looks like a fan blade. Actually, you know what? It does. I think I might have nailed that right away. Oh, that looks great. Okay, wait, let's try 2 blades. Let's try 2 blades. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good, in fact. Wait, hold on. Do we already have that? Wait, hold on. Okay, all right. Now let's try to hook it up to the actual display, right? So I'm sort of copying Mumbo here, but he used 3 tick repeaters. So I think I will too. Okay, I think that is our 3x3. All right, here we go. Let's do one blade, see how that looks. Hey, you know what? Yeah, wait, right away, this actually looks exactly like you'd expect it to, right? Okay, wait, hold on. Let's try 2 blades. Yeah, that's it. Wow. Okay, so if I'm correct about this whole start from the center and work your way out type of thing, I should be able to make this larger without making it any deeper at all. That would be huge. Okay, so to extend a 5x5 to a 7x7, obviously we do need 1 more on each side like this, right? And then we have, of course, observers looking at that one. And then per quadrant, since it's moving in this direction, right, we would want that and that and that, I think. This one, and this one. Okay, so starting with 1 fan blade, let's see how that looks. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's got the smearing effect too. And of course, we will be trying 2. That's about as perfect as it gets, yeah. All right, let's see if we could follow the exact same procedures. All right, we start from the bottom here. We put down 3 tick repeaters, line like that. 3 tick repeaters. All right, it's filled in. If this looks as good as this one does, I think we are on to an absolute winner here. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. And the thing is, it's just a scaled up version of this one. It's actually no different at all. The smearing effect looks really good. Oh man, I really like this. It does beg the question though, is there a maximum size to this? Because at some point the trail of the previous blade will intersect with the next blade, right? The question is, I guess, how big can we go before that happens? Should we jump all the way up to 11 by 11? Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, that was a little bit mind-bending to put together, but let's see if those blades intersect. I mean, it looks cool. I feel like there's a little bit too much smearing even. It looked really good here, and it looks great here as well. But when it's scaled up even more, you can see there's parts just over there that linger a little too long. Actually, wait, you can see it better on this end. You see this whole row lights up at the same time. I wonder if it might just be specific to the 11 by 11, just the way that it's shaped. Honestly, it's going to be kind of hard to say until I get the blades in. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see how it looks. Okay, well, it still works, but I'll be honest, the smearing effect might be a little much at this point. I mean, at this scale, it just kind of looks like a spiral more than a fan. I think there's still ways to fix this though. If you use note blocks, just, you know, something that is instant instead of observers. Yeah, what if we try to do a little bit of surgery here? What if we take these 3 and turn them into note blocks? You know, like how would that make a difference? Let's see. So we're looking for this quadrant here. How does that change the smearing? Kind of a wash, I'll be honest. Actually, what if we take these radial ones and we just do that? I think that's actually working. Hold on, let's replace the other ones. Yeah, okay. I think that's better. I'm gonna do a bit of a side-by-side so you could see how different it is, but I think that's pretty good. Okay, if we left a space in there instead, maybe it wouldn't look so straight as an arrow. Okay, yeah. I think that one's my favorite so far. And it looks like it's still not even close to colliding with the next one. I reckon we can go up to like 15, 17, maybe even like 19. Can we go above 20? I actually do want to see these blades collide eventually. So let's try to scale this one up to 21. Let's do it. Let's go up to 21. Okay, so that took so long. I think that alone took almost an hour to do. I'm not making a larger one than this, but look, I mean, it is still just as thin as the other ones. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, let's try to turn it on with no alterations. And ooh. Okay, so I guess that does answer our question. Can the next blade collide with the previous blade? It looks like no, it cannot. It'll actually get out of its own way before it can do that again. I'm going to try to implement the same fix that we did for that one, and let's see if that does anything. All right, so just with that really simple fix, let's see. Huh. I mean, it definitely made it better, but then it's splitting before it can... Okay, all right. I see what's going on, maybe. Okay, I think I finally got it to a point where I'm sort of happy with it. It does bend quite a bit still. I mean, especially if you compare it to these two right here. I think this one looks maybe a little too bendy. But I mean, 21 by 21 is probably a bigger fan than most people will ever want to build, so I suppose it's fine. If we look in the back though, you can see that in these 4 radial directions, I doubled up on these note blocks here, and then I put lines of hoppers here. The reason I used hoppers instead of more note blocks is because they're transparent and they don't power each other. So yeah, the note blocks were actually causing some issues there. So we have alternating lines of observers and hoppers, as you can see here. So hoppers, observers, all the way around like that, which just kind of makes the propagation go by a lot faster, and this is the result. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more kinetic decorative redstone like this, and of course subscribe so you don't miss it. And obviously please do go check out Jake Kelton Crafts for more of this stuff. They've got more than just fans going on over there, and it's really, really cool. And now enjoy your fan ASMR.